Thunderstorm in parts of the area Saturday afternoon, high 89 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Thursday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks on a soggy, wet, tropical depression. I don't even know what's her name. Mindy, I guess? I don't know. She came out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. But we're soggy this morning because of it. Galen, you know, he comes to us thanks to the good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. They offer skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If you have any questions how to handling the COVID-19 pandemic, give Palm Garden a call, 352-854-6262. Of course, Penn Flooring, family owned and operated, serving Marion County for over 30 plus years. Penn Flooring is a full-service flooring company dedicated to finding the best solutions for your flooring needs. They can do both commercial and residential fields. Go check out their amazing showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street here in Ocala, or give them a call at 352-351-3420. And, of course, Just Ship. They're flipping the script on shipping. Instead of you having to package up an item, you taking the time out of your busy day and busy schedule costing you money, because time is money, by going to the post office or the UPS store. You just set up an appointment with Just Ship. They pick up your item. They package it for you. They do all the time standing in line, so you don't have to waste your money or your time, and time's money. Go see Just Ship at justshipped.net. Galen, you know, good morning to you.
Hey, what's going on, Tom? How are you, my man?
Well, I figure you're probably in backstroke mode right now. You probably got a 35-mile swim, so you're probably 10 miles into your swim right now. You're probably in coasting mode.
Yeah, well, you know, I heard you say, you know, this tropical whatever is called Mindies. Mindies always comes out of nowhere.
Always.
I mean, do you know any Mindies?
I know two Mindies, and they got both of them. I know two of them. And,
shocking.
Right.
And they're shocking all.
Yep. Both Mindies I know were flash in the pans when I was in college and graduate school. They came. They stayed in my life probably about 4 or 5 days, and were gone.
It's always best for everyone that happens.
One of them was spring break, Panama City, so I guarantee you it was
there
best.
you go. You see what I'm saying? I mean, they're out of nowhere. They call, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on, right? Your world is in chaos.
And then there's Mindy.
While they're in there, and then they're gone. Yeah, I thank God my wife's name isn't Mindy. I would hear about that. Come on, that was a joke, people.
Joke. It's funny, fun. Hey,
fun.
Speaking of jokes, maybe the joke's on Anthony Fauci, because there's some emails that have been discovered through the Freedom of Information Act that says maybe he's a liar to Congress, which is a felony. I mean, if these emails are to be believed that we're gotten by through the Freedom of Information Act from Intercept, it shows that a molecular biologist at Rutgers University, it says Richard Ebright knew what was going on, and he posted later on an 8-part thread on Twitter explaining in greater detail about the SARS-related coronavirus created by the Wuhan lab, and he puts these emails put it right at the NIAID provided funding for this EcoHealth Alliance, which is where this guy worked. Is that the smoking gun, Galen? Is that the smoking gun?
Well, let's see how Fauci handled it, right? Because it's Fauci, and you're never quite sure. Because Fauci he's a cat, right? He always lands on his feet. And he's got so many people that love and protect him that they will destroy this. You know what the good thing is it's Rand Paul. You know, and Rand Paul.
He's a bulldog. He's a bulldog.
He is, and he knew he was lying, and he just said, "I'm not letting this go." And you know, you do not want Rand Paul on your tail.
No, sir.
You do not want Rand Paul coming after you, because that's not going to end up well for you. So, I kind of appreciated it. You know what I'm saying? I kind of liked his attitude.
Well, according to the material that Rand Paul presented, the materials show that between 2014 and 2019, NIH grants to EcoHealth with subcontracts to Wuhan funded gain-of-function research as defined in the federal policies in effect from 2004 to 2017 and potential pandemic pathogen enhancements as defined in federal policy in effect in 2017 to the present. So what NIH is going to say is, look, I know what they're going to say. What Fauci's going to say is, look, we gave the money to EcoHealth. EcoHealth decided what they spent the money on. That wasn't us.
Yeah,
that was EcoHealth. That's how I know that's how they're going to play it.
I get it, and this is why this isn't going to work. Because Rand Paul said that very thing. He said that very thing, and he said he was like, you're just trying to work spit your way out of this.
You're hiding behind your subcontractors.
And he said, you don't know where this is. He goes, we did not. And then Fauci said it very clearly after asking the question. I think he's caught. Now, the good news is if you're an anti-Fauci guy like me, because he's basically he's part of that the Bill Gates cartel. He's in that inner circle. Their history goes way back, and so he's going to be protected. But the good news is this document that they're referring to is a third-party NIH, right? This comes from NIH itself.
Right.
It's damning. It's very, very damning.
Well, we'll see how it shakes out. I just feel like he's Fauci's almost, his name ends in an I, and he's almost like he's Gotti, the Teflon Don. It's almost like nothing sticks to Fauci.
I'm with you. It's going to be interesting. And again, Rand Paul went right after and said, "Yeah, I'm submitting this to the DOJ to investigate."
Yeah, the Department of Justice ain't going to do anything. The Department of Justice is Joe Biden's guys.
But they have to, because he's a senator. They have to at least make a report of it. That again, and I mean, did you say Biden's approval rating dropped again?
Oh, it dropped again.
Unbelievable. Oh, he's in trouble. And so Biden's gonna have to get a scapegoat. And if he can,
well, Fauci may end up being a scapegoat. You're right. He may wag the dog by getting rid of Fauci. You're right.
But if you can lay this at the hands of Fauci, right at his feet, say, this is your fault, this is the Chinese Wuhan lab fault, and just say, I'm going to get to the bottom of it, right, and he comes out hard against it, a lot of his sins go away.
Yeah.
Right? And he doesn't have to say, I know Trump was right, because he could just ignore it, just like he said he got the vaccine.
Right. He can ignore it and say, look, I found out Fauci was dirty. I got rid of him. Good for me, Joe Biden. Pat me on the back.
And that would make, and by the way, all of the people who are, anti all of the COVID can also jump on that bandwagon really, really easy. And they can treat it just like they did the governor of New York.
Yep.
They'll just file it away. But
wait.
Major
what was it? Who's the governor of New York again? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. The news cycle's already forgot who the hell he was. Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
But again, I think Biden can really go after this, because he can come out and just eviscerate Fauci and say,
I'm tough. See, I'm tough.
I resigned. all of
You know,
those
you know what's
things,
hurting
so
Biden right now.
really, really curious.
You know what's hurting Biden right now, and I can't believe his staff didn't think about this. This Taliban takeover and Americans not being able to get out, and now private former military having to sneak Americans out and everything, and the Taliban takes back over. And well, 20 years ago we went to eradicate the Taliban because of what we're fixing to memorialize on Saturday. That's not a good look for Joe Biden. The 20th anniversary of the World Trade Center, and what Americans hang their head on is on the 20th anniversary of the World Trade Center, we have Americans trapped by the Taliban, who, by the way, we went to destroy 20 years ago after 9/11.
Correct.
That's not a good optic. It's not a good optic.
That's absolutely correct.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back after this timeout. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back. On a Thursday, Galen Needall from Life South joining us. Galen, I want to switch gears for a minute. Because yesterday, you were not able to hear this part of the show, but yesterday afternoon, I started talking about them taking down the 21-ton monument dedicated to Robert E. Lee in Richmond, Virginia, the last capital of the Confederacy. And I said taking down monuments isn't going to change history. I said also saying that the Confederacy was your heritage is okay if you want to say that, but it only lasted 4 years, so it was only, Confederacy made it to pre-K. Good job. But that history has a way of, people know just enough history to be dangerous. One lady wrote me in Margaret wrote an email and it goes, Tom, if you do anything that supports the Confederacy or anything of its history, whether you like the monuments being up or don't want them taken down or not, that makes you racist. How dumb a comment is that? Exactly. I got nothing.
Well, again, I've seen that statue, right? I've driven by it.
I've stood in front of it, took a picture of it.
Yeah, I understand it. We don't have to agree with all the monuments that are out in the world.
No.
There's a piece of the Berlin Wall that's still standing. I mean, Auschwitz has remained almost
it's still
untouched.
there. They take tours of it.
Right. You know why? So that we never
forget it.
And Robert E. Lee, whether we like it or not, he was an important figure in our history.
100%.
And what he did for the Spanish Indian War. I mean, he was considered the best general of the time.
Lincoln
There's a
wanted him
reason
to
why
be the
that-
Union leader.
Absolutely. And if he would have come over to the North, the war would have been much shorter.
Much shorter.
Because Lincoln
McClellan was
hired
an
like
idiot.
4 or 5.
McClellan was
Oh,
an
he
idiot.
hired he didn't get anybody right until he got a grant, and
Right.
then everybody's like, "Why are you hiring that drunk?" Right? I mean, there's a lot there, but guess what? And my son and I were talking about it because he's got this amazing history teacher right now, and he's a senior, and they just talk about things, and I told my son, I said, the thing about history is it's better viewed as time goes on.
Yes.
Right? It's easy to look at Robert E. Lee right now and go, "Oh, he was a villain," but he wasn't. He wasn't. And I don't like any statues being brought down because I think we lose a piece. And I'll give you an example. So in Fayetteville, North Carolina, there is a square, and on the square it was the slave market.
Right.
It's in downtown Fayetteville. It's right next
It's
to
where
my
they sold. Right. It's where they
Vicky
sold the slaves at. Right.
restaurant. Right. And on there's 2 sides. There's blacks and Indians. And on the facade it says Negroes and Indians. And my son saw that, right?
And he's like, "Why would you
How
put
else
that?"
is he? Well, right. Well, how else? And he's 20, right? And he's like, "Well, you know," and I said, "Son, as I told you, there were Indian slaves." He goes, "I didn't really put it into context before."
Yes.
You know, even though my mom has told them tons of stories. And sometimes you need to see it and feel that history. Now, let me be very clear. If they wanted to take this Robert E. Lee statue from the square and put it in a museum, I would be okay with
But
it.
they're putting it in a storage unit.
Correct, and maybe for right now that's the time, and now then maybe they move it to a museum. I kind of see both sides, but again, it's just really, to me, you have to look at history. We have the privilege of looking at history through the eyes of time.
What gets me?
I don't know. I'm torn on that one.
What gets me?
But I don't like it when they deface them. Right? What
Right.
they did to the Lincoln Monument
It was
when he
ridiculous.
freed the slaves, it was heartbreaking.
But here's the thing.
Well-
Here's the thing. People don't really. People, and I say this every day, and people just kind of rub it off. You can't use the morals of today to police yesterday. You can't. And here's why we are. And here's the problem with that. You want to say Robert E. Lee was a bad guy? He did own slaves. That's not arguable. He was a slave owner. Okay, so he was a bad guy. He fought for the Confederacy. He was a bad guy. He was a racist because he wanted to keep blacks in chains. Okay, I get all your arguments there. Almost every white person to a man was misogynistic and racist at that time. Women weren't smart enough they were 2 steps behind the men. They weren't smart enough to make those kind of decisions. They couldn't vote. They couldn't have any kind of, education was very limited for women. And slaves, you were thought of as livestock. You were chained up in the South. But when the free slaves in the North, the whites still thought they were inferior to the whites. Lincoln went to his grave thinking that the white race was still superior to the black race. And if you think because of your skin color you're superior to another race, that by definition makes you racist. But Lincoln couldn't be racist. He emancipated the slaves. No, he emancipated the slaves in the South. He didn't emancipate the slaves in the North. And by the way, the largest slave owner in the country at the time was in the state of Illinois. But see, people don't want to hear that history. They just want to tell you how bad the slavery was in the South, and everybody was racist, and these monuments have to come down because of the South, because of the South, because of the South. Slavery was an abomination that was countrywide. It just was more evident in the South because of larger plantations. I hate when people think that only the Confederacy were racist. The entire country was racist at the time. They just didn't like slavery. But by the way, they shouldn't have liked slavery.
Sure. Well, and I mean, they were racist against everybody who wasn't like this.
Exactly.
Right? They were
Chinese, the Irish, the Italians.
The Irish, and then there was the Germans who were. It just depended. If you weren't of native soil from from England, you were probably ridiculed, and I'm not apologizing for it. Again, people still hate Jews.
Still
Right?
to this day.
But again, I'm okay with them taking down the monument. I don't have I'm torn on it. I really am. I really see both sides. Because my mom and I talked about it. She goes, some of these monuments belong in a museum anyway.
I don't have a problem with that. If they take that monument down and put it in a museum, I'm okay with that. Perfectly
because if you're
okay.
driving by, if you're driving by every day and you see Robert E. Lee, I can kind of understand it. It's like when you drive down I-75 and you're up near Lake City and you see this massive Confederate flag.
You don't see a massive Confederate flag. You see the massive battle flag of the Northern Virginia Army.
Battle flag, sure. Yeah, well, there you go.
The Confederate flag looks like the state of Georgia flag without the Georgia emblem. Fair. That's the Confederate flag.
You're correct. You're correct. So when you see the stars and bars,
right?
We just call it stars and bars.
When you see the stars and bars, that's racist. That's a racist symbol because of how the Klan and people of the Jim Crow era took it and used it as a symbol of racism. I get that 100%.
Now you have every right in the world to waive it. I'm never going to stop you from enacting your right of freedom. Right? I'm not. Doesn't mean I don't think you're an idiot.
No, exactly. And the thing is, I love the people that say, "Oh, it's my heritage." It was 4 years, people. It wasn't even recognized by any other. It wasn't recognized by any other foreign entity. It was It made it to pre-K. There's your heritage. Your heritage made it to pre-K. Good job.
And I wonder how many of your actual family was in the United States during the slave time, right? You just wonder.
Mine didn't get here till the 30s, so 1930s. So yours were here. Yours was indigenous.
Half were here a long time, and then the other half came over in the 1910s.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But for this woman to send me an email.
By the way, that's.
Go ahead, by the way.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was just going to say, and that's why I don't know who I would pay reparations to.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I shouldn't have to at all. My family didn't come here until 1930. Both sides.
That's correct. Well, you didn't do anything to stop it, did you?
Well, we were in Germany and Italy trying, to not die from a little guy with a mustache and Mussolini.
Correct. That's correct.
We had our own problems.
I do think it's worthy of discussion.
But it's not. But this lady that sent me an email because I don't like the money. I said, if you're not gonna chip Stone Mountain away, what are you gonna do? And she goes, well, because I'm upset that they're taking monuments down, I must be a racist. How stupid are you?
Stone Mountain's interesting though, isn't it? And if you haven't been to Stone Mountain in Georgia, it's worth the trip.
It's an amazing place. It really is a great place.
It is spectacularly done. Like from a pure artisan.
It's amazing.
Pure artistry. It is phenomenal. Right? You would agree with that.
Amazing. I've been there hundreds and hundreds of times.
And I've talked to again a lot of our staff in Atlanta. We were talking like, what do you think about Stone Mountain? He goes, man, they have fireworks and laser shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, the laser light show, the mountain comes alive. They land on the moon in the laser light show, and Elvis comes and sings in the light show, and
absolutely,
it's amazing. And do the horses and Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson and Jefferson Davis, do they do that anymore? No, they don't do that anymore. They used to outline them, and the horses come alive, and they would ride off while Elvis sang Dixie, part of his trilogy, Glory, Glory, Hallelujah, and all.
Sure.
They don't do that anymore. And they shouldn't do that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. But from a pure artistic
the golf course there is amazing.
It is gorgeous. I haven't played golf there.
Oh, the golf course is amazing.
It's a cool drive, too. It's a cool place to drive up to.
It is.
Again,
right up Lawrenceville Highway.
It's a good trip.
It is a good trip.
Absolutely. Well, the traffic is terrible, but once you get into Stone Mountain, it's nice.
Well, young lady, I'm sorry that you think I'm a racist, but you're wrong. But hey, thanks for listening and keep the emails coming. Tom@WOCA.com. Galen, where's the Bloodmobile today?
Hey, Bloodmobile today. We're actually at the Winn-Dixie out in the out in the shore, so come see us out there. But as always, we're right on the boulevard, 1607 East Silver Springs Boulevard. We are testing for COVID antibodies, so if you think you've been exposed to the virus,
there you go.
We can test that for you. All right, give blood.
Galen, try to get to Gainesville safe. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'm gonna bye, y'all.
We'll be right back after this timeout.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The head of the World Health Organization, Tedros Ghebreyesus, said Wednesday countries with large supplies of coronavirus vaccines should not offer booster shots through the end of the year and make the doses available to poorer countries. Quote, I will not stay silent when companies and countries that control the global supply of vaccines think the world's poor should be left satisfied with leftovers. End quote. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in Kuwait City at the conclusion of a 4-day tour of Persian Gulf states said Thursday the al-Qaeda extremist group that used Afghanistan as a staging base to attack the United States 20 years ago may attempt to regenerate there now that the Taliban is in power. Smoke alarms went off at the Russian segment of the International Space Station in the early hours Thursday morning, and crews reported noticing smoke and the smell of burnt plastic. Russia's space agency, Roscosmos, said the incident took place as the station's batteries were being charged. USA Radio News.
If you're concerned about the power grid and want to generate your own supply of off-grid electricity, this will be the most important message you'll hear this year.